Hi, and welcome to the Kind Fibers channel. My name is Mariah. I've been sitting out here on the porch, spinning wool and thinking and drinking my cold elderberry tea. I drink it pretty often, all during the fall and cold and flu season. It's one of my favorite things to drink. And yeah, so I've been thinking about how do we react when bad things happen. And the reason I was already thinking about this past week, had already planned to write and kind of talk about why, like, how do we act or react when things happen that we don't like. And I'm not talking about when people do things to you, with malicious intent or something like that. I'm talking, how do we react when bad things happen? So I was already thinking about going that way, and then my mother had a spell of heat exhaustion, and it was scary. And she's okay now. She's perfectly fine, thank God. But it really kind of honed into me. How do we react and how do we act when bad things happen? So I wanted to talk about, there's in the moment. Some people are really good at staying calm-headed and kind of going through. It's a deer. Going through a crisis very calmly. Some people, they become panicked. Those are normal things. I'm talking more about how we react in the second stage, which is afterwards. And I'm not talking so much about, like, I stay calm during the crisis and I emotionally fell apart afterwards. I'm talking about how do we internalize the experience and grow from it and move on. How do we react as a spiritual and emotional being to that situation? So, for me personally, I went through some things when I was younger, and even up to just a few years ago. And I always said, oh, going through these things is making me such a better person. I'm so grateful. I'm becoming such a better person. I have gone through trials and sufferings, and it's making me a better person. Thank you, God. Which I do believe there's some validity to. But I kind of internalized some of that, I realized, as I'm a person who goes through bad things and becomes a better person for it. And it's a little holier than thou. Like, if you think about it, there's just that smack of holier than thou attitude to that. And there's also, when you're like, I go through suffering so I become a better person, you're kind of like putting out there like, oh, suffering makes me a better person. I want to be a better person. Come on, suffering. Here's the door. I'm opening it up for you. How do we react to bad things? So I've kind of come to the conclusion that how we react is to say, this happened. This was a moment. This is not me. We don't make things that happen our identity. We make things that happen exactly what they are. There's something that happened in the past. When we start saying things like, I go through suffering to make me a better person, we're basically saying our identity is suffering. That's great. If you really want your identity to be suffering, go for it. No judgment from me. But I think the majority of people, especially me, I don't want suffering to be my identity. I want my identity to be simply me. I want it to be good things. I want it to be, I am a peaceful person. I am a loving person. I am a kind person. I want those things to be my identity. I'm someone who cares deeply about others. Within that, there's no taking something from the past experience and dragging it into the present and dragging it into the future. So what I've come to the conclusion of is that when bad things happen, we don't react to it in a way that internalizes it as part of our identity. We simply take it and we accept something bad happened. That has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with my identity and who I am. It has nothing to do with my ability to move forward in life as a joyful person, as a kind person, as a happy person, as a content person. Suffering and bad things that happen are just simply that. They were a moment, and that moment is gone. This is a completely new one, and what's going to happen tomorrow is a completely different moment. And that is how you find your freedom from bad things that happen. That is where you stop being a victim and you just start being. So that's my Monday musing here on the porch. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out the rest of the blog, kindfibers.com. If you're into spinning and knitting and wool, we have an Etsy shop. I also have a journal that I'm working on about boundaries, a journal book, that's going to be coming out in a couple of months. If you want to check back on that in a couple of months, that's going to be like November, December when that comes out. And we're on Facebook, Kind Fibers, and we're on Instagram. And I think that's pretty much everything. So if you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe and click the bell. I will be back on Mondays from starting now on, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and in all you do, craft no harm.